What's up, guys? We have a very special guest in the building. She's on TikTok right now, giving guys and women great game as far as it comes to relationships. For all you purple pill guys who know female nature but still want to be in a relationship very soon, she's the one you got to follow. So warm your hands together, guys. So go ahead and tell the people, your TikTok handle and, what made you get on.
Okay, hi guys. So I'm Arzu. I started my TikTok, I want to say 5 months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I graduated from UC Santa Barbara and I'm from California, so I'm from the Bay Area.
Sweet.
And I've been doing this for a while because I was a behavioral therapist for autistic children. So I really studied different behaviorals and disorders. And then I just kind of got into this and it became my passion.
Awesome. And how should I address you on the podcast? By first name, TikTok handle?
You can say Ari. It's just
All
easier
right.
that way. It's wish upon Arzu because my name means wish in Farsi.
Ah,
So that's kind of like I said, wish upon me, but you can just say Ari.
salam, Khubi. I like
Oh,
Persian
that was
bros.
pretty
So
good.
I know a little bit of Farsi, just this much, man. So Ari, listen. So what I guess which video of yours took off? Because you're almost 100K. So it had to be at
Yeah.
least one video that, like, say your first six videos did okay, and that one just took off. So which video was that?
Okay, so it was the first one that I had talked about where a girl is, they just got and they broke up. And then in after the relationship, the girl is talking about how she just really wanted her partner to understand and be there and like listen to her opposed to just getting defensive. And it
Yes.
was her staying in the relationship and just continuously hoping that it will get better, and things never got better, but she was just kind of hoping and praying, staying, and it wasn't because she was just like insecure or anything. She really just wanted it to work out, and then it didn't. So one of two things happened: she either fell out of love or she found someone else. So that was the one video where everyone's like, I can really relate with this one.
Got you. Got you. Now, do you feel like this goes for both men and women, but do you feel like when in relationships, people usually check out mentally weeks before, or it's like they wake up one day and just break up with somebody?
They check out mentally weeks before, I would say, because you don't just wake up one day and say you don't want this person. There has to be things about them that you just don't like for days to come, weeks to come, whether it's like conflict, whether it's the fact that the two of you guys are just on opposite lifestyles. So it's like, okay, I'm noticing these things, and you wait hoping it gets better, and then you're like, okay, I can't do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, reason why I had you on, because I feel like you're going for a great perspective for all the guys out there. So let's talk about this, right? You made a video on sometimes the nice guy can be created through childhood. So you almost have this little like chart where it goes like this guy's the pleaser, then this pleaser tends to hate conflict, and then this person tends to have a hard time saying no. Maybe kind of talk about what you're saying in your video.
Yeah, so it's about the unhealthy life attachments, and
Yeah.
that kind of stems from our childhood because when we are born, we learn what is right, what is wrong, what is love, what is intimacy, and our parents are the first people in our environment to kind of teach us everything growing up. Then it goes to school and then our own personal life experiences, but the first one is in the home. So when a kid's born, a majority of the time, they learn, from their parents. So if they have parents that are sort of dismissive in some ways, they try really, really hard to please their parents. And then that attitude gets kind of portrayed into their adulthood because they're trying really hard to please the people around them to get the approval. And then that turns into, they get anxious if someone doesn't approve them, someone's mad at them. They're like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then that goes into, like I said, relationships where if a partner at any point just needs a little space, they take that as, oh, my partner doesn't want me anymore. And I'm trying
Gotcha.
really hard to get them to want me.
Absolutely. So then what is your opinion of those guys when they grow up and they're more so maybe not looking for a relationship, and they're more labeled as the nice guy, what do you think their issue is with their dating approach and why they tend to not get the girl they want up front?
Um, so I would say when you go all in the beginning,
Yeah,
there's the person kind of loses the mystery to it. So
yep. Speak on that.
if you kind of walk into it like wholeheartedly, like I just met you, I love you, and like not really saying I love
Yeah,
you,
I
but
get
like
it.
I'm going all into this, the other person thinks, okay, maybe there's something off here because why you just kind of met me, you're giving me all this attention and all this affection. And for some women, I would say the reason why it's hard for them to accept it as well is because they've dealt with guys who don't do those things. So seeing a nice guy come into their life, they're like, that's a red flag to them. And they're not able to accept that there are people out there that are that's how you're supposed to be with, someone you meet is respectful, honest, and just being able to be nice to them. So some people take that as, okay, I can't do this.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a good word on mystery. And again, it's like this, right? I feel like when a woman says it, it's a bit more validated, of course, but when I say it, it's like, no, I don't want a mystery. I want to know exactly. Okay. Okay. I feel you. I feel you. But for me, is for example, if I were to take you on a first date, I would tell you in the car, hey, I had fun and I'll see you soon. Right. I wouldn't then text you the second you get in your house, hey, it was nice to see you. I'll see you soon. Like, I feel like you can say that in the car or say that in person and then maybe text them the next day or like or at least one at least or maybe or another day or two. It's like some men tend to overwhelm women when they get one because they're not used to them having them around, which can scare away the mystery. So what are some things a guy can do to kind of help the mystery? Because you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? So what are some things they can do as far as to kind of pull back a little bit? What do you think some options are?
Okay, so one, I'll go back to the whole text them kind of thing
Yeah.
or say it in the car.
Yeah.
I think that if you withhold too much of just being a genuine person of like I really had fun, and if you kind of pull back where you're like, oh, I'll text them in 2 days, the girl will say like he didn't like it, he didn't care, and either they're gonna withhold and they're gonna be like, okay, is this a game? I think genuinely when you're going into a relationship, you shouldn't see it as a game. It shouldn't be like I'm not gonna text them until a few days later to kind of like withhold that. It should be, like you said, just telling them up front, like, I had a great day, like, I want to see you again, just so they know, like, you enjoyed it as well. Because if not, the girl would have it in her head if he doesn't say anything, and days go by, that it's either he didn't have fun or it wasn't important to him, and she'll just have it like, oh, he's just playing with me here, kind of
Got
thing.
got you. So first date mystery, I mean, we kind of talked about that. But what are some other things that a guy can maybe try to do to help the mystery out? So let's say when he's texting her, maybe, or when he's on the date, right? So what are some other things he can try to do to help, build the mystery so he's not giving all of himself up front? Anything else you can talk about?
I would say that just ask to get to know the girl more. I
Okay.
think that when the girl feels like the person's into who they are and they're allowing the girl to kind of talk and they're more in tune with the conversation, that kind of gets the girl happier. Cause it's like, yeah, you want to be a mystery in a sense of like how you tell her what you like, but getting to know the aspects of her that make her her and like being interested to ask questions would probably get her more in tune and like excited with it, where it's like, oh, okay, like this guy seems really sweet, like he's actually listening to me, he's not making it all about him, and he's also not just saying, oh, you're beautiful 24/7. It's like, let me get to know like what makes you you.
Yeah. So two things to that. Number one, I tell guys all the time when on the first date, like shut up, like just do most of the listening, right? Because I know people love talking about themselves. So on a date, I'm not necessarily being, I guess, mysterious. I'm just more so keeping it more on her and less on me. Now if she asks, sure, I'll tell, but I like to, mostly keep it on her because I feel like, that's how you build a better connection. And also I tell guys too, you mentioned another thing about, if you're going to compliment, make it specific. Okay. You Girls get told they're pretty and they're beautiful every day. However, if you talk about things that, like for example, oh, you're really knowledgeable on this subject. Oh, like, you're, like, so it's like things more niche, they'll appreciate much more than just a blanket compliment. Can you speak on that? How men, can kind of get better with their compliments? You know what I mean?
Right. And I would say they can say things that kind of make that person unique, whether it's, an aspect, a feature on their face, a feature like their hair, like something about them that you're intrigued by. Like, you really have beautiful eyes, or something where it's like, guys don't normally comment. They just say, oh, you're beautiful. Like you're pretty. Where it's like, okay, let's comment on the different, oh, I love your style. Like, you smell really nice. Like, things to like point out that you're actually noticing about her, because girls like to know that the guy's actually listening to like different aspects of them, opposed to just, like the basic ones. Or like you said, being more knowledgeable. So different stories that she tells you, whether it's like, something she's done, accomplished, and you're actually listening to her, wow, like that's amazing. I tell me more about this. The girl will feel like, oh, okay, like he's being in tune, like he actually cares to know more, and it'll get her to like open up and accept that.
Absolutely. I definitely tell guys you gotta if you're gonna compliment, be specific. I made a whole video on that, and it did pretty well. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is, okay, I feel like in it's this more this is more for guys, right? I feel like especially guys in the dating realm, they tend to upfront, pick her up, pay for the first date. They're usually putting out more finances, right? And they're putting in a bit more effort in the beginning. First two, three, they're the ones pursuing chasing. Let's just say that girl decides to, you know what, either A, I'm over this, or I find another option. That girl decides to leave the man, okay? Maybe ghost him, or, doesn't make time for him anymore. When that girl comes back, obviously the best answer is that guy should say, no, like you wasted my time, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think men still want to make it work with a girl that left them. You know why?
I think why they want to make it work is they want the validation that they were good. So
Yeah.
when the girl comes back, they want that validation, knowing that, okay, she left. Maybe I wasn't doing good enough. I want to prove that I'm good enough. So I'm going to try and pursue this harder so that she doesn't leave. And they kind of want that at the end of the day, where the girl's like, yeah, wow, like you wowed me, like that was amazing. At first I was skeptical, and I probably was talking to other guys, and you kind of have in your head like, oh, okay, then I have to just try a lot harder this time so that I can get that. And I think that that's probably like the bigger issue that I've been noticing on both ends, where it's like people stay or accept when someone leaves and then comes back because they want to prove themselves that they were good.
And that's an issue for me. That makes sense. Like, and the reason why it's an issue for me though, it's like, wait, you just up and left me out of nowhere. So now I'm gonna put even more effort in. The effort I put in when I was putting in wasn't enough. I gotta put more in, and just for you to possibly do that again. So I'm gonna invest more money and more time just for you to pull that again. To me, it seems almost too risky. You know what I mean?
It's an
So
insecurity, I would say, that people have. Like, immediately when someone walks away, you question, why did you walk away? Like,
of
was I
course, yeah,
not good enough?
yeah.
And was I not attractive enough? Like, there was obviously something off. So you put your best foot forward, and you're like, I'm going to try and pursue this harder, not because you are like the love of my life or anything, but because I want to prove to you that I'm a good person and I can do better. And then sometimes people do that just so they can get the validation, and then they're like, okay, like I feel better now, I'm good.
Got you. Yeah, for me, when girls have done that to me in the past, I do my best to say, listen, if you want this to work, balls in your court. You set the date, you say what time, you come pick me up. You can do that later, right? And some girls will walk. I've had before that they walked, right? But that means they weren't into me that much anyway, right? Like, you're telling me you bailed on me, you left me in the dust, but now I have to come pick you up and spend money on you again. That, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel like guys need to know, if a girl leaves them, especially out the blue, I feel like they should be able to set boundaries, for themselves. And so, what do you think about that? Where a guy tells a girl, "Listen, these are my rules, and you have to abide by them," opposed to flips. What do you think about that?
Okay, two parts so I don't forget this part. I will say that sometimes though, when a girl walks away, it couldn't just it's not just like, oh, he wasn't good enough, or like I found better. It could be, I just don't think he tried hard enough, or maybe he didn't understand what I needed, or maybe the guy did go out and pick her up, but then he was like, oh, where do you want to go? He left it all up to her. So sometimes when girls see that the guy isn't kind of, making that first initial like let me try kind of a thing, the girl's like, okay, because girls, and the thing about women that I want guys to understand is
Mhm.
girls do put in a lot of time and effort into it if they see that their partner cares. So once they're very loving and emotional. So once they see that that person is kind of reciprocating that and showing it, they will go all in as well. But in the beginning, when they see signs like, oh, where do you want to go? I don't know, you pick. And the guy's kind of just like leaving it up in the air, or, he doesn't text her and ask her like what time, or doesn't kind of put effort into it and just goes with it and just pays for the dinner. It's like, okay, like that was fun, super bland date. Then the girl's going to be like, I don't know if that was worth my time. Like, I just don't think we connected. Maybe he didn't like ask about me as much. Maybe he didn't care to like get to know me. And then it was quiet, or, we just didn't click. So then girls are like, okay, I'm going to pull back. And then that's sort of why they ghost the person, because they're noticing maybe there just wasn't, the miscommunication was off.
Got you. And that's an amazing point. I tend to speak for myself. You know what I mean? For me, I'm very direct. Like, for example, there's this one chick I was talking to. I didn't even know the area we were going to, but I acted like I did. Went on Yelp, typed in best bars in blank city. Oh, I know a great spot. Let's go here. I'd never been, but I didn't want to hit her with the hoe. What's a good place in your city? I was still like, nah, I'm leading. Like, I'm gonna look this place up. Act like I've been. Oh, they have great cocktails. Great place, right? So for me, I'm the one always leading. But here's my question too: is if the guy wasn't being a good leader, wasn't showing good effort, kind of was so, why would she come back to him?
Sometimes I actually don't even know if that combo would happen or if she comes back to him. But if she did and she came back to him,
Yeah.
I think it could be like, let me try this out one more time.
Okay. Fair
Maybe,
enough.
maybe it was, yeah, sometimes because we like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's why after mistakes happen, girls are like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna stay and like try to figure it out. Cause we really do have a big heart where we want to see it from other people's perspectives. And sometimes we're like, okay, maybe it was an off day. Maybe it was the first date, second date, kind of nervous, like, let me see if I can open this person up, and they'll try to pursue it again. And I just think that there's, like I said, that miscommunication where a majority of the time, and I've seen this with some of my clients, where they'll say, I tried. And I'm like, okay, but maybe you also have to understand that if you didn't put in that effort to make and plan that date the first time and get to know the person, even if you were like, okay, where do you want to go? When you go on that date, like talk to them, engage with them, bring up conversation. It shouldn't just be, a bland date where the other person's like, okay, like I don't know much about them. I find them attractive, but that's about it. And then, yeah.
Got you. So this is my experience with, because I had this happen to me with two girls before. I was treating them great. Again, from my perspective, okay?
Okay.
But sometimes what women have is, can I get better? Is the grass greener on the other side? When I
Mhm.
watch Kevin Samuels, you know who Kevin Samuels is?
Yeah.
Okay. He was talking to women. Why'd you get divorced with your husband? I was young and dumb. No, 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 no. You're 28. Why'd you divorce your husband? And sometimes I thought I can just do better. So again, nothing wrong with him, but
Mhm.
can I get a little bit more feet? Can I get the heated seats? Can I go for the double sunroof? Like, can I get a bit more? They think they found it. No, it's not. Okay, back to my safety net. So that's where I feel like, me personally, with women, where it's sometimes like they have good. Can I upgrade a bit more? No, back to the safety net. And I'm like, listen, you left. Therefore, I'm not gonna go like, first of all, when girls leave me, I let them know we're starting back at zero. We're not
Mhm.
gonna go back to the same intimacy level, because I trust in you before. I made time for you, where I shouldn't have. But now you have to almost go back to where step one, we're not like strangers. It's just more so you have to earn that level of respect I had for you. Do you think that's a fair thing to say to somebody, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I 100% think that that's completely fair, because if not, if you don't set those boundaries, they're going to walk all over you. They're going
Yes.
to they're going to take advantage of it, and they're going to think they can just come and
And
go,
go. Yeah.
and it will just be a cycle where they're like, yeah, this person accepted it, and then when they think, like you said, the grass is greener on the other side, they have that moment again, they leave and they're like, okay, it doesn't work out, then they come back, they're like, okay, this person's like you said, the safety net. You have to, at the first start, anyone in that position needs to be like, listen, I allowed you to come into my life.
Mhm.
I gave you honesty, trust. I really wanted this to work out. I put the effort in. And when you walked away, obviously it hurt, but coming back, we don't get to just go back to,
Yeah, it's crazy.
where it put pause and then just come back to it.
Yeah,
And then you have to rewind and you have to go back from, the beginning. So
that's
I
what I
agree. I
told.
think that's a
Yeah,
smart thing to do.
yeah, I told a girl that, and of course it took her by storm. But it's like, I feel like a lot of times these girls who are especially really beautiful, they're not used to guys putting their foot down, saying no. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the biggest test. You can be, alpha male all you want, but when it comes to a really beautiful chick you like, you'll fold. But I do my best to hold true to myself because I feel like when you see yourself as a prize, you don't let yourself get walked all over and get disrespected. You know, it goes back to the whole proving that you were good enough. I like that a lot. That's something I'll definitely keep in the back of my head and make sure that I'm not going to fall into that trap. That's a trap. Like I'm good enough. I don't need to prove it. And when you walked away, trying to find a better option. So that's dope. Another thing I want to speak to on, I feel like it's a very popular topic, is the whole player and F boy thing. Okay.
Okay.
Why do you feel like women like, okay, for example, you probably saw us at college, high school, and on and on and on. There's a guy, tall, muscles, football team. Girls know he's trouble. They've heard the stories, they've heard all the body count, like they know everything, but they still want to pursue. I think I know why, but what's from a certified psychologist? What is your reason as to why the girls will still go for that guy they know is no good?
So I would say the reason why they go for it is because they're hoping that they can change him.
Yep, I tell guys
They're
all the
hope
time. Yep, keep going.
they're
Yep.
they're hoping that they can sort of change him to be like, oh, like I was the girl that he fell for, and he changed his actions to be better
Yep.
because he's this attractive, smooth guy, knows how to talk, silver tongue, all that. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I'm going to change him so that I'm that one girl that's different from
Yeah.
all those other girls, that he stops and goes on a different path. And I think that it's like I said, where we want to see the benefit of the doubt. We give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So we try to kind of like, put our best foot forward and say, like, I'm gonna change this person no matter how good they are, how beautiful they are. I want them to be, for me.
Absolutely. And I talk to guys all the time. I made a video. Of course, I like to make my videos more comedy, so I want people to laugh while getting some facts. I said girls are like Bob the Builder. They will come into a guy's no. If a guy can be, just a bunch of wood just on the ground and she wants to build a house with them. And sometimes when guys come to women fully built, hey, I like you. I want to be with you. Let's like relationship. I'm ready for it. Let's go. Like, okay, hold on. When I'm 32 and not married, we'll talk. But right now, since I'm 21, I'm gonna see if I can change this guy, build a house with him, because I get more of a satisfaction boost and the ego boost with him. But so, and see, let's talk about that now, right? They say nice guys finish last. When I say last, it's like you may get her when she's 35, or when she's ready for marriage. Do you feel like that statement holds any weight, or you think that's just hogwash?
Um, Nice guys finish last. I guess it just really depends on the person and the
Yeah,
type of girl, because I think at the end of the day, when girls go like for the person that's not good for them, there's a
yeah,
lot that plays into this. We can't just look at it as, she likes to get hurt. It plays into the fact that how was her, like, I go back to the childhood, but how was her childhood? Did she have parents that can kind of give her security and attention and love, where she feels like she can make that decision for herself,
hmm,
and she's able to go out there and look at that, the fuck boy, and say, I don't want that, because I got enough, love in my home. I got enough love from my friends and family, where I'm not going to put myself in a position to get hurt by this person. I'm seeing him for who he really is, and I'm going to walk away. And then some girls who kind of go into it, it's because they didn't have love in their household. They had a lot of chaos. They had a lot of trauma. They had a lot of fighting, and their family didn't give them that emotional support. So they'll run into the arms of someone who they know is toxic for them. But there's this term in psychology called repetition compulsion. And
oh
it's
yeah,
when you go towards something that is familiar to you. So it's like they are familiar to toxicity. They go towards something that's toxic because it makes sense to them. That's all they know.
then the nice
It's
kid
really
comes
hard
around and it
for
messes them up.
Exactly, because it's really hard for all of us to kind of like read other people's minds. We don't really know what they're thinking. But when you see someone that's toxic, you are like, okay, I was used to that. I grew up in that. I've seen that. So you're running toward that. When you see something healthy, someone's treating you good, you feel a little uncomfortable because you haven't been in that situation. You didn't grow up with it. You're not used to it. So you kind of like pull back a little bit.
Got you. I think there's a video that I saw that was really well said. It was saying, a lot of girls have this mindset, all men are trash, blah, 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 right? So they go for men who they know are trash, right? So when things don't go well, it's like a confirmation bias. Like, yep, I knew it. But when a good guy comes around and like, wait, I'm being treated well, he's consistent, he's giving me reassurance. This goes against what I know about. This makes me almost feel uncomfortable. That's what they said. This girl said sometimes nice guys make girls feel uncomfortable, while the toxic player guy makes them feel at home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So then that goes back to the repetition compulsion. It's you are going towards something you are familiar to. If you've seen that in your childhood, if you've seen that in high school, whatever, you've seen it where it's like, I'm used to people fighting, I'm used to that toxic energy. You will go toward relationships that have that toxic energy. You're not going to go towards someone that comes out and is like, let's talk about conflicts, let's move past these things. You're going to go towards someone who yells because you're like, I'm used to that. So I do have a question for you though. I know that you said a majority of, girls from your past have kind of like walked away, and it was like, you tried really hard and you were like this good guy. Why do you think they walked away? Why do you think it didn't work out?
Absolutely. So there's okay, so there's two sections of my life, my simp days and
Hmm.
now. Do you want to talk about now or simp days?
Let's talk about simp days.
Okay,
What
simp
was it
days.
there?
Absolutely. The reason why, so here's the thing. My mom and the Disney movies and what girls talked about was, oh, we hate douchebags. We hate guys who don't give us reassurance. We hate guys that don't ask us out on dates. Chad, you're a good example. Those girls didn't give me a chance though, but they're telling me what they didn't want. So then when I was a kid and listening, watching movies and you see the guy like freaking Forrest Gump, chasing Jenny around the whole world, but gets her when she has AIDS and ran through by the Black Panthers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's you see these movies, okay, if I just stay consistent, if I just stay loving and stay giving flowers and stay giving reassurance, I'll win in the end. Right. So that was my mindset. That mindset got me friend zoned by every single girl I ever liked when I was young. I knew how to give them affection, but there was no attraction. Okay. Then those girls would talk to me about their boy problems. Oh, he's so this. Oh, he's so that. Don't be this guy. Be this. You're a good example of what girls want, but I'm friend zoned. Anyway, then I started to resent the bad boy. Oh, I'm gonna protect women from bad men, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm different from all men she goes out with. And I'm gonna do all the things that they say they like, on what they tweet about on Twitter, what they talk about in their songs. I'm gonna be all of that. And then when and after a couple months, the attraction started to fizzle. Then they'd start talking to a guy that like wasn't paying him no mind, right? You know, so I started to realize that what they say and what they do aren't adding up. And I realized when I started reading books like Rational Male, podcasts, wait a minute, hold up. Girls are going for the guys they're complaining about. Now, mind you, when they get older, I feel like this stuff's going to stop, obviously. But I feel like in their younger teenage, youthful years, they're going for guys they're complaining about, trying to change, like you mentioned, trying to change them and be the one that changed them. So then I switched. So my mindset went from please her, find ways to please her, find ways to make her happy, to okay, now I put myself first. My needs, my happiness comes first. So hey, Chai, see you as a friend. I don't. Bye. It's just a quick little mindset switch. I tell guys all the time: when you put yourself first, you can really save yourself in this dating world. Because before it was all about them. Where do you want to go? You want to go here? You got it. What do you want to do? You want to do this? Perfect. You want to be just friends? I don't want to be, but if that means keeping you around and keeping you happy, we'll do that. So that was the main reason why I wasn't successful in my younger days, because I was simping, pedestalizing people and putting my needs and wants second.
Okay. Okay. So then what I will say too is that I think regardless of male or female, we tend to go for the thing sometimes that isn't healthy for us. And
Yeah.
that ends up happening where in our youth, like right there, you were going for these women who were friend zoning you. You were putting in your effort and they weren't it was like a love triangle right here. So then the girl goes for the guy that doesn't give her attention. And then it just becomes this whole triangle where we keep doing that to each other because we are not, and we are all forgetting. We need to all put that in to ourselves. And that's what a lot of majority of the people get stuck into these relationships because they, one, want to fix the other person, and two, try to get the validation that they care. And they don't ask themselves, what do I want? Who am I? What makes me happy? And you go through life just trying to people please. You go through life trying to like get that person to want you and do, like you said, do everything they want to do, take them where they want to go. And I would say that that works both guys and girls, only because the way that you're going after her, she's going after him. Anything he says, she's doing. He says, I don't want to hang out with you. Okay, that's fine. I'll see you later. I'll come to you at
Yeah,
2 in the morning. I'll drive to you 4 hours to come, and whatever it is that they want, they do that. But the
absolutely.
person that's winning is the one at the top who's saying, I'm putting my needs first. And that's the thing that we have to kind of realize. I'm not saying everyone should just do them and not care about other people and stopping, care, like respectful. I'm saying that you should always understand that a relationship is an attachment onto your life. There are other aspects of who you are that's more important as well. There's, your family, there's your health, there's your hobbies. So when we forget that a relationship's one aspect, we start to get consumed. We stop remembering who we are. We forget those aspects. And then we look back and we're like, oh, I hate men. Oh, I hate women. And then that becomes a battle where we're just hating the other gender without understanding that, one, we have needs that are different. Men have needs that are different than women have needs that are, and we forget to stop chasing, but to really like attract. And now you're saying I'm not a simp anymore because you're saying I'm just going to let things come to me. So if I see that a girl's friend zoning me or not giving me the respect I need, you're like, bye. Like, I'm not dealing with this. But in the past, you're like, I'm doing everything you're asking me for.
Yeah.
And then people run away. The
Yeah.
same way a girl goes to that guy, I'm doing everything you're asking me for. And he's like, no, bye. Like, it's just too much. So I'm just seeing this cycle that just keeps going back and forth.
Absolutely. And that was definitely a great way to put it. And yeah, that's are you familiar with the red pill and blue pill?
I no.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is so the content I make, right, is called, I would consider red pill content. Now, red pill, you can apply that to anything in life. I'm just applying it to dating, but
Mm-hmm.
basically red pill represents that's what they call it, truth. Okay.
Okay.
While blue pill is like your common, they say those people are plugged in, right? There's your soulmate. You'll find the one who gives you no problems. She's out there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's where my content is at. It's more red pill, truth based, right? And of course, some people don't think it's truth, and that's totally okay. If that's not your reality, it's okay. Like for example, I made a video that took me from 55K to 125K overnight. Now it
Wow.
came with a huge mental tax, but I'll talk to you about it. I made a video saying, listen, fellas, during this quarantine, women are going to be on dating apps. They can't get validation at the bar, the club. They gotta go somewhere to get it. And now it's on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. When you match with her, try to set a date. She may hit you with, you know what? When the vaccine rolls out, I'll see you. When this is all blown over, I'll see you. Now, mind you, 0 to 55K, I let my nuts hang really low, Ari. Okay. Cursing, saying whatever I wanted because no one was coming from me. I was a small channel. No one cared.
Yeah.
So I use more aggressive language and I admit that was wrong, but whatever. We're moving on. A page with 500,000 followers, feminist based, she, her, LGBT, the whole thing. Very sensitive group of people. They found that page and they said I was perpetuating rape culture with that video because men aren't entitled to a woman's body. Like nothing to do with rape, but okay. They came to my page, left hundreds, thousands of comments, all negative, right? Then I was like, ooh, finally some conflict. I've been waiting for this moment. Like I've been waiting for something negative to happen because it's been every day. 500 to 1,000 followers. It's every day. No, nothing in my way. No roadblocks. Like, damn, like where are these people at who are hating on me? So I got my hate. I was excited. I made a video. This is the video that changed everything. Okay. I made a video stating there are women out there who are going on dates with men. They don't like them. They just want the free food and they don't want to sleep with him. Okay. That third thing it felt like the world off. Okay. Because do you know what the straw man tactic is?
No.
Bro, yeah, it's very common, and you'll see in your comment section. If you argue 2 plus 2 equals 4, they'll argue back 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 5. They're right. It doesn't equal 5, but that's not the argument I was pushing. So
Mm-hmm.
then they took what I said and goes, "Oh, you think women owe you something?" I said, "No, but if we're going on multiple dates and this is our third and fourth, and you're still on this date not liking me, you still want free food and you don't even see me sexually. Why are you here? Like, why are you wasting my time? But they didn't see it that way. They saw it as, again, rape culture, back to the whole we don't owe you anything. And all these conscious people with like millions of followers sent their goons after me. And it's just like all over an opinion I had. Now, based off what I said of what the whole that whole girls using guys for dates, what do you think about that? Is that a rape culture? Is that like what do you think about that comment?
I I don't want anyone to come after me. But
Yeah.
I will say I don't think that it is. I
Yeah.
just think that I also had a video that was very similar to this and I got
Oh.
hate,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but the opposite way. Because
Oh,
I
what is it?
I'll explain it after,
Okay.
but to answer that, I will say that it's not. I just think that women, with the whole like going on multiple dates and then not kind of giving them that, I think that sometimes they withhold either because of those reasons or because they've had guys that take them on dates and they seem really into the girl, and then they get that one thing and
Nelly.
then they leave. So it's like that's like the issue that I think we can't like probably butt heads with. It's probably okay, yeah, I'm bored, I have nothing to do, I want the validation that he's going to give me, or it's just going to be like whatever, I have nothing else to do right now, I'm just going to go and get
Sure.
dinner and then that's it. Or they do he's taking me on dates, it seems great, he's putting in this effort, so I'm going to withhold that, because once I give him that, I'm fearful that I'm going to get rejected, and after that sexual intimacy happens, I'm not going to hear from him again, because that has happened so much for women where they get into that position where they don't want to give it up anymore, or they like pick and choose who they give it up to because they either, they don't know how to handle it in that situation. So that's how I see it. I don't think that is, I feel bad for all the hate that you got on that video though.
It was crazy, and it trickled in my personal life. They tried coming for the businesses I own, family. It was everything. They did everything. But anyway, I was going to say this. So that's a very fair point. But I have two things to say that. Number one, you may end up losing him because you don't want to give it up. So that's one. Because okay, if you don't want to give it up, I'll go somewhere else. Okay. Or two, this comment is a bit more brash and abrasive, but we're grown. We can handle it. Sometimes you don't even know a man until you sleep with him. Because sometimes everything they do to get it was an act. When they get it, like you said, they're gone. So it's like if sometimes you making them wait, it's like this, right? You make a guy wait 5, 6 months. Say he's dedicated. Now you've really got intimate with this person. 6 months, you've talked about mom and dad, your feelings. Then you sleep with him. Then he ghosts you. That's gonna hurt way more. So there's trade-offs, of like how you want to go about this dating. You want to make him wait, 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 and then on the month 6 you give it to him and he leaves. Now you're really upset, opposed to you just doing on the second date. He leaves, okay, whatever. It was only 2 weeks, So there's trade-offs. But I definitely get what you're saying. But I'm glad you agree that's nothing to do with raping anybody. It's nothing to do with that.
No, it had. I don't think it had anything to do with rape. I think that rape. We know what rape is. It's
Yeah,
when the person's not giving consent. So
yeah,
she went into it and she said, "I don't want to have sex," and you're still pursuing her. Then yes, I agree that is rape.
yeah.
Vice versa, if the girl's doing it to the guy, I just think that if you're making him wait, that's you trying to understand, do I even like this person for who he is? Because the way that guy need the intimacy, a guy definitely needs intimacy first. Like that's how they kind of like, do I like this girl? Is this
Yeah.
like what I enjoy? The girl is like emotional first. So I made a video on how women leave long-term relationships when things
Mhm.
get boring and stagnant. And they don't have a high sex drive in long-term relationships. And I had a
Ah,
lot of hate comments and a lot of hate messages saying that guys were pretty much telling me that women need a lot of attention and affection before they give up sex. And that wasn't the point. What I'm just trying to say is that the same way a guy needs intimacy and they need sex and physical touch, a girl needs emotional first. So when we can fill both cups, then the person's getting fulfilled. Like they're happy. But if a girl is going to withhold and is not kind of giving the intimacy to their partner, not giving them the sex, and they're just like holding back, the guy's going to hold back emotionally as well. He's not going to put in that effort. He's not going to try as hard either. And I think it just goes both ways, that we have to understand we just need love differently. And that's like the biggest issue, that women are like, oh no, I need to get it this way and I will decide if I want to give it that way. Where it's like, it doesn't work like that, because then if he's not happy and you're not happy, why are we playing a game here? It's we have to understand they just need it differently. So
Absolutely.
I feel you on the whole, like, hate on that.
Yeah, true. And I've never really peeped your comment section because, but it's I feel like both of us have gotten used to it. Opinions will never be the same. But let's see what other question I wrote down for you. Um, Ooh, let's talk about love languages for men. You made a video on that where you said women, and instead of just saying "I like you" or "I love you," try to be more specific because men, we sometimes need like what I think you said, like reassurance on our performance. I
Mhm.
think you made a video on that and kind of reiterate what you're trying to say in that video.
Yeah, of course. So for men, a majority of the time, they need to be told that, the woman appreciates, what they're doing and they like respect what they're doing. So sometimes I think girls forget to understand that when you tell your man to do something or you tell the guy like thank you for doing that but you missed this or but you forgot to do that, they feel like you're pretty much telling them that they're not doing it good. It's like, oh no, you're not a handyman, just let me figure it out, I'll call someone to come get it. You're pretty much telling him he can't do something. Or other things like that where it's like a woman likes to say, likes to hear I love you and likes to feel, the attention that way. A guy likes to be told like I'm proud of you, like I'm seeing how hard you're working, I'm seeing how you're putting a lot of effort into this, like I'm proud of who you're becoming and congratulations on like trying so hard with that, like you're doing great, even just attempting it, like I'm proud of, like getting that reassurance that what they're doing, validating that. Because for men, they like to be the breadwinners, they like to be the
Yeah.
one that provides, they like to like security for their family and for their partner. So when they're getting told like you're doing a great job in that, they feel happy, they feel accomplished, because a guy will get up and say I have to provide. That's just like their number one mentality, like I'm the provider. So when they feel inadequate in work and then they come home and their wife is nagging them or girlfriend is nagging them about something that they're doing, they're like I'm not doing good in either one and I'm upset or one's off. So it's like when a girl says I love you, okay, thank you, I'm still thinking of like how I'm still off on this and
True.
what's going on here. So when you're able to like stop and say like I'm really proud of everything you're doing, I know you're putting long hours and that, or you're trying really hard, you're going to the gym more, like you're really putting in work in yourself, they feel like their wife or girlfriend or partner is noticing that. So that's important to them. And I think that girls sometimes forget that because they'll say, oh, thanks for doing that. And then a backhanded, like, yeah, but you missed this. Or passive aggressive of you could have done better here. Or, you were late or something like that, where it's like, okay, is that really that important to kind of belittle your partner because he's trying and he's doing his effort? You can word it better to not make them feel like that.
Wow, that was amazingly put. I feel like a man, our egos, when it comes to performance, is everything.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my confidence stems from my performance, right? I'm a guitar player. I'm good at that. I'm a boxer. I'm good at that. Like it comes from. So when a girl compliments me and say, "Oh, like you work really hard in the gym," like, "Oh, thanks," like because it's all about performance for men. So if women want to, be specific with their compliments, you need to compliment a man on his performance because that's again we want to be breadwinners, we want to be providers, and getting complimented on that means a lot more than emotional "I love you" or "I like you" or you know what I mean. I feel like that's a really good point for women to do because that will make their man feel a lot better and also make them want to even go harder. You know what I mean?
It's like that, it pretty much like confidence booster. And I think that's why men like joining sports. They like, boxing and stuff because their coaches, their peers, their friends are
Yeah.
saying, good job, like you're doing it. They enjoy that atmosphere where it's like, yes, I'm getting motivated. Or in the gym, you have like a trainer or a partner, like a friend that's working out with you, they're pushing you. And so for a guy, they really enjoy to hear that. I mean, you can really agree with that
Yeah.
too. But for women, it's like being told, like, I love you and I appreciate this relationship because that's the way that you guys feel with providing, they feel the same way when it comes to a relationship. So sometimes they're like more in tune with he's not talking to me, like he's quiet, does that mean he's mad at me? Because we think about the relationship a lot more than the guy would.
Absolutely. Another thing I would like to bring up and speak with you on is a lot of guys hit me on the whole friend zone thing. I know we spoke on it a little bit, but not in detail. Why why would you, Ari, friend zone a guy? What things would you have to do to kind of take him out of the intimacy more into a friend?
mm, okay, so me personally, I
Okay,
would
personal.
say if he doesn't put in interest to get to know who I am. So if
Okay.
I'm noticing that the guy is talking more about himself or
Mhm.
isn't asking questions about me, and it's just a boring conversation. How are you doing? Like, yeah, it's great. Like my day is great, but they're not like asking more about me. I'm like, okay, where is this going? Like this is very surface level. If I'm noticing that it's a surface level, complete friend zone. I can't continue with
Wow.
that of like pushing. Um, and I think another one was like if they're playing hard to get, where if they're just like,
Oh,
sort of like completely pulling back, not responding, not putting in that effort, not putting in that intention. Like I can't kind of like gauge to like push someone to kind of talk to me. So if I feel like they're off and on, like hot and cold, then I'll just keep them in the friend zone. And if they want to, text me and stuff and talk to me, that's fine. But I'm not going to like let it continue and like go on to this whole thing.
all right. Let's talk on the first thing. Oh man, because I know what you just said. That just said now. First thing was, ooh, okay, guys. That's why it's so important to get on a date with a woman and get her speaking about herself. The more that you ask questions about herself, the more she feels like you're into her. Is that a proper thing to say?
Yeah, I
The
would
more
I would
questions
say
you
that the
ask, yeah.
more, not even just asking questions, but like trying to bring up like topics to
Oh,
even
for
talk
sure.
about.
Yeah,
Like
for
just
sure.
anything. Because like once it's just surface level and the guy's just kind of like, talking about the day, the
Yeah,
weather, like
the weather.
random
Yeah,
things where it's like, what else do I say other than that one like 5-second sentence right there? They're like, okay, and then it's like awkward pause. Where if the guy's like really just like trying to bring up things that they're excited about or even like things that they're passionate about, I'd love to like hear more about it and learn opposed to just sitting there.
absolutely, guys. I tell my guys that you got to ask her. Try to find something she's passionate about. When she's passionate about it, you're a good listener and you pick it apart. The conversation. Oh, you while you're speaking, you said this. Like, what do you what did you mean by that? Like show them that you're listening. Ask good questions. But the second thing I want to get into. Okay, let's just say I were to shoot you a DM. I'm trying to pursue you, Ari. Okay, shoot you a DM, and let's say it's Monday.
Okay.
I would ask you your availability. I tell guys don't ask her, are you free Friday? Because she says no. Then you say, how about Sunday? Then she says no again. And like you're almost like you seem too available and too open.
Okay, wait, is this the first time you're messaging me?
Yes,
Like, what's
first
my,
time. First time.
okay.
Yeah. So I ask you your availability. You say, oh, I'm free Friday and I'm free Sunday. Okay. I go, okay. I set the day with you, time, place, everything. It's Monday, mind you. I may shoot you like a meme on Instagram, a little small talk on a Wednesday, right? But other than that, I really wouldn't reach out to you too much because I'm trying to have the conversation in person. And number two, sometimes you've had this happen at least once. A guy talked his way out of it through texting you too much, where he said something you didn't like, did something, you know what I mean? Like sometimes guys can talk their way out of it. Is that something that you feel like is true or
They
not so much?
talked their way out of the date,
Yeah.
or they talked too much and I got out. Like, I didn't want it.
I'd say the date or just sex in general.
Mm, I, I would say that that happens when I see that the guy is like too cocky in a way, where they're just
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, where they're just like too full of themselves or too cocky. Then that just pushes me off. Where I'm like, okay, I don't know if this is gonna go anywhere.
Got you. Because you said hot and cold, right? And sometimes I feel like I can make girls feel that way because I'm not blowing their phone up, and I'm more so, hey, I'm gonna see you in person. So it's all this talking we're doing over text. Let's just save it, right? So do you feel like that's hot and cold? Where I text you on Monday, hey, how are you? What are you accomplishing today? Oh, I'm doing this. Okay, I'm doing this, and this. That's dope. What's your availability? Friday. Okay, cool. Friday, blah blah blah. Okay, see you then. Wednesday, I may small talk you, but then Friday, I don't talk to you till Friday. So you feel like is that hot and cold? Where it's like I'm not really like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday talking
So
to you.
how a girl will see it is when he kind of like, okay, like what's your availability, and then kind of goes that week without really like talking to them that much, and they don't really know the guy that well. They may take it as he's probably talking to like other girls, and like that's the thought that they'll go through in their head is like he's probably talking to other girls and he's planned the date and he wants to like go and have fun. But it's not that serious to him because it's probably just like a casual thing where he's like not putting in that effort to kind of like talk to them. And I would say for me personally, I wouldn't say that that's bad. I think as we're getting older and as we're becoming adults, like it's fine. You don't need a text, you don't need a Snapchat, you don't need to do all that stuff. It's I'll see you when I see you and we can get to know each other in person kind of a thing. but some people might take that as, okay, he asked me out, it's probably very casual, kind of thinking from like other perspectives, it's probably very casual for him. Doesn't seem like he's putting in this effort, he's just kind of like waiting till the date, and he probably has other girls that he's like texting and talking to and planning other dates with, and that's what some people might take it as the hot and cold. But I would see hot and cold if the person puts in all this like attention into the conversation, seems like they're really cool and they're like in tune with it, and then I don't hear from them for, days on end, and then the next time I hear from them they're very short, where it's like, okay, that's just like, it went from like getting to know each other, it's been great, to like silence, to the next time I hear you, you're acting like a complete different person.
Okay.
And then it just makes me feel like, do I need to try to like with the conversation more, like what's
Yeah,
going on here?
that's fair. And I want to go back to what you just said about the whole a girl may see it as a casual thing. You're right. And that's what I'm trying to go for. So that's a very accurate way to see it. And if a girl thought that way, she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. I'm like, listen, like I feel like man, even okay, so let's say from a woman's perspective, if a guy is over 6 foot, good skin, cool hair, stylish, he may have some options. And for you
Yeah.
to think that you're the only one is kind of naive, especially since he just met you, he just DM'd you. That you can start thinking about the only one and all that stuff when the dates get more intimate and as the time goes by. But on the first date, like you guys don't owe each other any type of loyalty or anything like that. This is like a first date for me is like, can I well like do you are we compatible to see each other again? And if not,
Mhm.
no hard feelings. But yeah, like that's definitely a fair way to put it. Like it's definitely casual, and I'm definitely talking to other girls, and that's not so that was a very good way to put it. So okay, friend zone. So you said lack of interest in you, kind of service level conversations, and you also said, oh, you said something else. But
I said
anyway,
how like they'll start off the conversation like really intuitive, really wanting to talk, goes days without talking, and then it's very short, where it's like this is hot and cold.
okay. Is there a third thing? Because I feel like there's another thing that's like men do that shoot themselves in the foot that makes them the friends. I'm gonna see if we think the same.
Bringing up sex right away.
Okay.
I would
So
say that that's like a complete, like, we see it so often where the guy will start to make sexual comments right away, whether it's before meeting them or after like one or two dates. It's like immediate like sexual comments where you're like, that just turns the girl off.
so yeah, I made a video on that where I say don't bring up sex until you have sex with her.
Yes.
Or sexual jokes, comments, because again, we all know we want to do that, but for a woman, it's a bit more. I don't know the word is, but it's like a bit more. There's a word I'm looking for. I just can't say it. But to men, women know that's what they want, but at least don't make it so transparent. Don't. I don't know. What I'm trying to say. I feel like you get it.
I feel like if you want that and only that, and you're not really trying to like stay and like get to know the person more and kind of like date them and stuff, then you need to make that apparent and like more clear than the little subtle hits that girls get, because girls get the, he's putting all this effort, he's caring, he's taking me on dates, he's really putting in this like, attention into me, and I feel like I'm feeling this connection, emotional connection, because that's what the guys give right away. And then once they give that, the girl falls, and then she has the sex, they have sex or whatever ends up happening, and then they're like, okay, it's not the same anymore, where it's like, at least if they know that that's sort of what the guy wants and that's kind of like what he's going for to kind of keep it casual, I would say that the guy just needs to be upfront with it. But I do not agree that the guy should bring up little sexual comments before any of that, because even if that's what they want to go for, by bringing that up, it just turns the girl off, because it's just like not I don't know, we just don't see it as attractive. You just see it as like either you're trying too hard or it's just not mature.
Absolutely. So here's one thing that girls often say that I challenge a little bit. Okay. This is not a personal question. It's just in general. Let's just say a girl has had 20 sexual partners
Okay.
in two relationships. That means there were 18 people that had sex with her without giving her a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, of those 18 men, most of them just wanted sex, but they couldn't say it because this one girl told me this straight up. I know you. That's just what you want, but you have to at least make it look like that's not all you want. I'm like, dude, no, like I don't want to do that. Like I'm very straight up with you. I told you what I'm looking for. But she said you have to dress it up more because if you just if this is all you want, I just can't do it. So sometimes girls, it's like that's what they want too, but you have to make them feel like they're not just a piece of meat. They just want sex from me. I just want sex from them, but I have to dress it up better. You know what I mean? It's like I show up I give her a gift with no wrapping on it. I have to put some wrapping on it and make it a bit more special than this show going here. Here's this gift. So what do you think about that? You've probably been in a position before where you just want it too, but the guy has to make it look sexy enough for you want to do it. Is that true or am I reaching?
I would say, I know this is a horrible answer, but it's situational based
Yeah.
and everyone's different. There are some people who just have it in their head they need to be in a relationship. They really want that. So
Mhm.
when they see that the guy's putting in effort, they really go hard. They go full in and they're like, I
Mhm.
want this. Like I want to see where this goes. And then some people are like, okay, like I'm okay with it being casual. I'm okay with us like making it seem like we want something more, having fun with it.
Yeah.
So it's really just different for everyone. I feel like I've been in that position where it's like, okay, let's really like put more effort into it, where it's like, let's get to know each other a little bit, let's understand each other prior to like it being like that. But like I said, everyone's going to be completely different. You have to be transparent and understand who the person you're dealing with is. Because if you're going to go into it with this umbrella term that all girls are the same and I'm going to treat all girls this way, or all guys are the same, I'm going to treat all guys this way, that's really hard because, there are going to be people you're going to meet who are going to be completely different. And it's like some people will be completely fine with it being casual, going on those dates. Other people are like, no, I needed to know prior if that was what you were actually looking for. Why did you have to dress it up? Because then the girl's back of the girl's head, she's like, he put in so much time, so much effort, and then I just got ghosted. And then that's what creates the insecurities going into the next person because they have like the trauma from that last person. You just have to really gauge it, like who am I dealing with here? Because not everyone's going to be the same.
Got you. So I'll ask you two more questions. The last question is more of a wrap it up question, but this last one here, let's give some first date tips for the boys, right? And let's get detailed, right? So let's go from like, okay, from the day before to dropping her off. Do you have any things that maybe yourself or your clients have spoken about what makes a good first date so these guys can get better at it?
What makes a good first date?
Advice to a man, or so tell him, look, dress, we talk about stuff like that.
Okay. So obviously dress nice. Don't come in like baggy clothing and just
Okay.
super casual. You want it to seem like, you're put together. Look good, smell good. Don't come late. Be on time when like you say you're going to pick her up, come at that time. Um and I say sort of plan where you want to take her out to dinner, like have like some sort of like idea of what you guys want to do, whether that's we're going to go on a picnic, whether we're going to go on a hike, we're going to go do something, kind of have that plan, but then also gauge it like, what is it that, you enjoy doing? What is it that you enjoy eating so that the guy kind of gets an idea like, okay, she's into this. Like, I know a good sushi place. Like, I know, and like try to understand those aspects. And then I would say ask more questions about, who she is, what her hobbies are, tell her something interesting about you so that, she will remember that, you're different. Present yourself in a way where it's like, I'm different. So it's like, let's express that. Like, why, what makes you you? And then also like what, like you said, listen to what they say and try to remember and bring that up again, where it's like, oh, like this person's actually listened to me. They're not just a blank wall, just everything's coming in. It's like, oh, okay, he remembers and he brought that up again. And then like we had discussed too, it's like when you give them compliments, it shouldn't just be, the umbrella term compliments. It should be tailored to like that person. And I guess just be yourself as well. The worst thing you can do is putting on a mask and just painting this idea of who you think you are.
Mhm.
Be yourself. If you're goofy and funny and loud, be that person. If you're like outgoing and like you are really loud, like don't, contain yourself, like be you. Because I feel like we in society, men in society, like they will kind of like try to be someone else and be like this proper person, where it's like, no, like I want to see like all sides of you. If like you have this like goofy side, like just let it out. um and then I guess like when you drop her off too, like like you said, either text her like it was a great night, or I would just say like, I hope to see you soon. Like this was a lot of fun. I appreciate everything, and kind of just like make her feel like, you actually want to see her again, and it wasn't just like a boring date.
Okay. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents. You can tell me, what you think. So first things, guys, I'd have your car clean. If you don't have a super, super nice car, like a Porsche or whatever case may be, having a clean car is nice. I swear to God, girls get in my car and go, damn, like it's an Uber driver. Like, nah, I just keep it clean. So what that
Okay.
does is it lets them, usually how you do one thing is how you do everything sometimes. So if your car is super clean, like, oh, this guy's a clean guy, I look in the back seat, I don't see a bunch of water bottles, I don't see a bunch of clothes. It smells nice in here. Okay. He may shoot, maybe get a car wash. It may seem like you're fresh off the car wash. Again, it shows effort. Then obviously have the place you chose in advance. And also, if you're going to her city and you have no idea what's in her city, again, act like a know-it-all. Go on Yelp, look for a place that has good reviews, and go there and say, hey, I know a spot. You've never been there, but it doesn't matter, right? But maybe tell her later on, hey, I've never been to this place before. I just wanted to lead. I'll make her chuckle a little bit, make her turn a little red. When you get to the date, guys, you're gonna want to again try to your best to ask her about things she's passionate about because you want to get her talking. You want to, guys, shut the fuck up. You don't want me talking too much. I ask girls all the time, what part of a date that made you like kind of uncomfortable when the guy starts trying to sell himself, right? Because to me, I feel like when women want to be with a guy that's either equal to him or doing better. So when she feels like you're trying to sell her, if it almost comes from like a from the you're coming up. I'm trying to think the word. It's like you're beneath her because you're trying to sell her to make her approve of you. You don't want to do that. You want to sit back and you want to listen. Now, guys, with the whole mystery part, don't say too much about yourself. For example, I'm a guitar player. I may not bring that up, but on my Instagram story, I'm playing guitar. Oh, you play guitar? Yeah, I do. So it's like it's much rather she find out things about you rather than you just blab in your mouth. Because if I sat here, Ari, and I was like, oh yeah, so I have a podcast. I model for companies. I'm also very well known. My friends think I'm like the best guy. It's like this guy's just was just Shark Tank. You know what I mean? Like why are you trying to sell me? You know what I
Right.
mean? So I say, guys, don't reveal everything. This is the first date. You don't owe her everything. It's the first date. Don't tell her everything. Sometimes she needs to find out things about you as you guys get to know each other more. Now, what I do is let's just say I have a classic date I take a lot of girls on. There's this place called Earth Cafe. You know Earth Cafe.
Yes. I
Okay,
love
there's one.
that
There's
place.
one in Laguna Beach. Okay, so we have a tea or whatever. Then we go for a walk. We go for the walk. I try to engage touch. Okay, if I touch her here, I'll explain for all the people about to get mad. I'll explain when I touch her here. What happens if I touch her lower back? Does she lean in? Does she move away? Does she look at me weird? Does she look at me uncomfortable? That lets you know she ain't into you like that, at least yet, right? If you put your hand on her lower back and she starts to scoot in, okay, you're moving and grooving here, okay? So that can gauge how far you can take it sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes based off of the touch. Like, how does she react to your touch? Is she looking at you weird? All right, whatever. Also, guys, I made a video on this as well. Body language in the car. If her right leg is over her left leg and she's leaned in towards you, good. If her left leg's over her right and she's looking out the window, not so good. So, and the last thing I'll say, and then you can kind of give me your analysis on my report here, Ari, is for me, I like to make a girl at least wonder a bit if I am I going to see this guy again. So I'll go, hey, it was nice seeing you. I'll see you around. I always say I'll see you around. Not see you again. I'll see you around. I get out the car, I give her a hug, and if she gives me that look, of course I go for it. If she doesn't give me that look, I let her be. Now, usually while we're on our walk or I'm in the car, I like to try and make a move because sometimes she's nervous too, and she'll like hug you and like run away to her house. Now you have no idea if this is friendship or intimacy. So I like try to make something known before that leave such section. But based off what I said, anything stand out? Anything you want to speak on? Anything like that?
Well, you went into detail with everything. I didn't know we were doing it like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think you did pretty good. I mean, all those points are true. I think it's great that you're also like, okay, gauge it. Like if you're gonna go for the lower back, see how she engages with it. If she
Mhm.
likes it, move forward. If not, don't,
Yeah.
because that's what you really know. Body language is really important. If you're
Yeah.
noticing that she's pulling away from you, leave it as,
Yeah.
all right, we're not going to push this, because
Yeah,
once you push
exactly.
it, once you go past that mark and you keep trying, that girl's going to be completely turned off, not wanting to
True.
have the next conversation. You will not hear from her again.
True facts.
But if you're like, okay, I'm gonna kind of like gauge it and do a little bit where it's like now
Mhm.
she's more interested. Now she's like, is he gonna try and kiss me? Is he gonna try
Mhm.
and see me again? Where they like kind of like questioning it. I think that that's really good. I think you did pretty good on that analysis right there.
There we go. That's what I tell guys to do, man. And another thing is too is things, right? Like let's say like try not to wear your most expensive watch on the first date. You know what I mean? Like just try to because girls again, dude, they're always this data. There's data. This data's popping up. They're analyzing everything, dude. And like she go, oh, well, that watch not get my attention. It's probably his homeboys. He probably got that with the unemployment money. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, don't be too flashy. And another thing I wanted to speak on in regards to the first date, women's shit test. Guys, listen. She's gonna take some jabs at you, and based off how you respond is how she's gonna, internalize it. If her girl goes, "Oh, do you always wear that chain?" Yeah, I'm gonna wear it again on our second date too, right? She tried to mess with you. Oh, is something wrong with this? Like, do you not like it? No, not confident enough for me, right? So you got to make sure that when she tries to test, double down on it. You know what I mean? Let her know that you're unbothered by her trying to mess with you. Ever, do you know about that like shit test, confidence test type thing, or you have no idea what I'm talking about?
No, I mean that makes sense. I think we do ask questions
To
in that
test, yeah.
sense where it's picking to kind of understand.
Mhm.
But I don't know, I've never heard that term before. So I don't know if
Oh,
like
it's a popular term. Guys always say in like the red pill community, women will shit test men to test for competency and confidence. Because basically it goes, but they say it goes back to biology of them trying to pick the best mate for their offspring.
mhm.
So they're always testing the masculine, like how is he confident? Is he competent? There's different words. But yeah, so I'll end with this, man. What are some of the goals you have for this brand you've created? Where it's like where you see yourself in the next 4 years or so with this brand?
Okay, good question. I just got my relationship certifications. So
Those
after that,
certifications?
yeah, there's like tests and certifications that you can get to kind of like gauge it legally and the right way. So I had to take a bunch of courses on that.
I'm
Wasn't
down for
bad.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't technically have to, but I did to understand more. And then I want to get my master's. So once I get that done, I really just want to go into helping and coaching other people. I want to have courses that they can take. I want to kind of have my own podcast. I was actually going to start my own podcast with one
If
of
you
my
need help,
clients.
let me know. I'll get you. I'll let you all things you need to know to have it. Because dude, this mic is $35. This is $20, and Zoom is free when it's one on one. The second you have like 8, 9 people, that's when you have to pay for it. So you can have a podcast for 30, $60.
Wow, listen, guys, like he knows it all. Like honestly, I love
Yeah.
that.
If you need
Okay.
help, let me know. I'll let you know what mic to get and like this thing. I'll help you out. Make sure you're successful.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I've had a lot of clients like, can you just start a podcast? Because
Yeah.
I talk about topics where they're like, that was
It's
only a minute.
quick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to go in details. I want to give more examples, but I just can't with like just a
True.
minute long. So
True.
I wanted to have my own podcast. And then eventually I wanted to branch out to different companies and kind of like promote for them and
Okay.
kind of like go on and do my own like TED Talks and stuff. I really just want to get out there and like understand and help people realize that we all think differently. We all have our
True.
own perceptions of things, men and women, no matter what we go through. And we have to also realize that our biases come from our perceptions, our experiences,
Experiences.
what we've
Exactly.
gone through.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and so some people just forget that when they meet people, we can't have a perception of who they're going to be and what they're like and what they've gone through and their situation. So we have to kind of present it in a way where it's like understanding where someone else is coming from. So like that's my biggest thing when I see a client come to me, I typically try to unlock their childhood, unlock their previous relationships, and then when they sit there and they realize like, oh, like I never saw it this way. I want more people to understand that when breakups happen, when people leave us, when they ghost us, all that thing, everything needs to happen. That stuff needs to happen so that you can get to where you need to go, so you can be the best version of yourself. If those girls had not, hurt you and you weren't a simp at those young ages, you wouldn't have been here helping all these guys understand. Like you wouldn't
Facts.
have been in this position the same way with me. If
Facts.
I didn't go through all the experiences I've gone through, I wouldn't be here being like, okay, listen, we can't see every breakup as detrimental. We can't see everyone who left
Lessons,
their life
man.
as, oh my gosh, like I'm not good enough. We have to see that as a lesson learned. And we have to learn that we need those times. We need to be down under where someone broke us so that we can move that chess piece and get to where we need to go. And so I think that that's like the biggest thing I really want to help people do. So with my brand and with just like my outreach, I want people to understand that tragedy needs to happen sometimes. We need to have people come into our lives, mess things up, stir it up a little bit so that we can think clearly and realize that we don't need another person to
Mhm.
make us whole. So that's like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And another quick question I'll say, and then I'll answer the question as well. Is do you want to help mostly women, or does it matter? Men and women can both help get help.
I I do men and women. So right
Okay.
now I have clientele that's both guys and girls. So I've studied and researched a lot about the understanding of a male and the understanding of a female. So I know I didn't get a chance to kind of like go in depth with that because we had certain questions, but I try to help my clients on both ends and then couples as well to kind of like come together.
Gotcha. And last thing for me is I'm not sure if there's two ways to go about this, right? Either A, I can stay making content for young single men to navigate being single,
Mhm.
or do I, when I get in my 30s and 40s, go into more relationship, right? So it's almost like, do I grow with my fans or stay the same and get new fans? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, guys who are in their 30s aren't going to want to listen to this stuff anymore because like that was their fun days. Now girls are more serious about dating, and it's a bit more, outcome based. Like, hey, I'm 35. I'm not trying. I have you ask me what my favorite color is. Like, let's get down to nitty gritty here. But yeah, I just want to help out as much men as possible. YouTube channel, merch, seminars, books, courses, everything. I just want to provide as much value as possible to these guys because man, they need it. Because I feel like girls, if you're above at least a 6, you're almost spoiled for choice as far as men, right? So their dating is much easier, at least I think, because they can sit back and pick and choose. Men have to hunt, 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 rejection, 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 rejection. Get maybe one, get a number. Ah, she bailed. Rejection, rejection. Like they have to go through a lot more bullshit sometimes to get onto one date. We're all can pick and choose. Okay, you Monday, you Sunday, you Friday. All right, boys, line up. You know, so it's like you disagree. So
Okay.
you disagree.
I disagree to an extent, yes.
So okay, so I feel like right now in your DMs at least 3 or 4 guys, and you can legit say you Monday, you Wednesday, you Friday. I'll see you boys then.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't have that. Yeah.
So you're saying personally you don't have that?
Oh, personally, I don't have that. I'm not saying that that's how all women
Oh,
are, but
okay, okay.
personally, I don't have that because I think that the guys that reach out to girls on social media when they're like, "Oh, like you're attractive, you're this and that," they just say it and then they don't put in any effort. They don't say like, "I want to meet you, I want to like take you out on date." It's just I think you're beautiful, you're hot, and then that's it. Where it's like
Oh,
women get a lot of those messages, but it doesn't go anywhere. The guy's not like, "Oh, like trying, let me take you out to dinner." None of that.
I am. I'm DMing them for a plan. I'm trying to take them out. I'm trying to get a drink. I'm trying to get to know. I'm not.
See, you're taking it from your
Oh
experience
yeah,
where you're like,
yeah.
oh, I've had it where I'm like trying to take these girls out. I think from experience from a lot of women that I've seen and
Mhm.
talked to, we get the you're so beautiful, and then that's it. It's like thank you, and
Well,
then
that's
that doesn't go
man.
anywhere.
Come on, bro. You're in the DM. You might as well make a plan, bro. Make a plan.
Yeah, no. And even the ones where we're attracted to, we're like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, they just messaged me. It's wow, you look so great. Not even what are you doing? What are you up to? Like I would love to take nothing. It ends there. You try to have a conversation with them, they'll just heart it. It's like,
Damn. Okay, so maybe
okay,
they're just trying to talk to talk. But anyway, I do appreciate you having me on. No, I appreciate you
other way around.
coming on because I feel like it's good to have somebody, a woman's perspective on this. It's incredible. Hope the guys really appreciate this. Last time, shout yourself out. Information, how they can find you.
Yeah, of course. So I'm so glad to be on the show. This was honestly a lot of fun, and I hope that I can help out in any way. Like, if anyone ever wants to message me, my Instagram handle is wish upon Arzu. So that's wish upon and then ARREZO.
Okay.
Same thing on TikTok. So yeah, of
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate having you. Peace.
course. Bye.
Bye. All right. All right, guys. I hope so glad you guys stayed around for this podcast. As you can see, the merchandise. If you're on YouTube, you can see the merchandise is coming soon. You can get them in any type of size, small, medium, large, extra large. If you're a nice big dude. And also want to say this: Patreon. You guys often see, right? Who hurt you? Who did this? Who did that? If you want to know, I have on my Patreon page, you guys can see all of my down bad stories in my simp days. The link to that will be in the description.